we? Oh, meeting link is available. Yes, in the Kajoki group. Okay.
I just reminded everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, Ishtiak, how are you?
Good. Hey, everybody. Miss you all.
Uh,
Who is this?
Ishtiak.
Hi,
Hi.
Wanda.
Hi, Ishtiak. Oops.
Okay. You calling Marty? I am right here.
Yeah, I'm just reminding everybody.
Okay.
I thought it was my phone. I look at it. So what's going on?
Okay.
So, Dr. Charlene.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, Charlene.
Hey, Marty.
Ooh.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi,
Good
Morning,
morning.
Stormy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Trying to get Marty to rest and take care of himself.
Yes, Marty, that's health is very important when we get to a stage. I keep reminding myself, it took me a long time. Now I reminded myself the advice they give in airplanes. Put air mask on yourself before you help the next person. So I follow it strictly now. If I'm not well, I can't help much.
That's right. My doctor was very proud. He said, you look like you lost weight. I told him, yeah, 20, 30 pounds so far.
Oh.
Stormy's lost over 50.
Good for
Wow,
you.
I saw your picture, Stormy, on the group. Oh, you look lovely. You posted in a black outfit, right? That was you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got her hair like very blondish red.
Oh, I have to see that. I didn't see it.
Is that you, Marty?
Yeah, hey, Chuck, we're on Zoom. I put the link.
Is
Yeah,
Shankar
we're on
joining?
Zoom. I put the link in there for you.
Okay, let me go to Zoom.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, because you call the leaders, this platform. So let me go to Zoom.
Okay. That was Chuck. He's coming in on Zoom.
Okay. What about Jean Marie? Let me see if she can.
It looks like Mark from the Philippines. He's going to take notes. And Istiak, thank you for getting that video up, because I know a lot of people that don't go to the meetings, they really enjoy seeing, you know, the meeting later. So
Yeah, and I'm also thinking of restarting the newsletter, club newsletter on LinkedIn.
yeah,
And
that's all
I'm
Shanker. Shanker did all that.
cool. Well, I'll help him out. All right. I'm
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
after him. So
Yeah,
what I'm
please
going to do is, that's why I need the AI companion to take notes, and it can give me the overview. Obviously, I'm here, so I can, put a human touch on it, but it'll be easier for me to create the newsletter, every week, based on, what we have done. So
Okay.
I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking, Maria, I'm not sure if this is the best time to talk about this, but we have the meeting on Saturday today, and then we have 1 week off. All right. So next week, on the same time, we can put out a newsletter discussing what was covered in today's meeting. Okay. And then the next, so it's text based and video. Text,
I
video.
see.
That's how, we rotate
Yeah.
it. Right. What do you think?
He would love to help. That's so nice of you.
Yeah. A question. Who is Elizabeth's AI?
That is Elizabeth, is the good friend of Dr. Pauline from Florida. And she was
Okay.
a member for
Okay.
about half a year. And she
Okay.
still is a friend of the club.
All right. So if a person is not present, are we going to allow them to use their AI?
It's how they keep up. They read the notes,
Okay.
Yeah.
a summary, and it's how they stay in touch with the club. Is very
Okay.
advanced, and there are some Rotarians who find it highly inappropriate. If you're not physically at the meeting, nothing will ever be streamed. Nothing will ever be Zoomed. We will not record it. You have to come here only to the country club. So each club is different, I think.
May I ask, if she's not a member, why is she taking notes of our meeting?
I think it's how she stays in touch with the club as a
So
guest.
I would suggest, I agree with Quanta, I would suggest if she's not a member, there is also the YouTube and a website and newsletters. So I do not agree with someone who is not present and has no office role, should not be using AI.
Okay,
I
I
agree.
went ahead and removed her.
Okay, I appreciate it. If someone has a club role, office role, or are doing something, it's okay. Or they're present and for whatever reason they take the permission. I am okay with that part. Thank you, Marty.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
see Shankar joined yet. I just pinged Jean
Yeah.
as well.
Hi,
She,
Ethel.
oh, hey, Shankar, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Good.
Just a
Good to see
little
all
bit
familiar
of
faces and
no,
oh,
it's electricity challenge. So I put on a small little solar light here.
I'm sorry. Your voice was
There is
going
a
on
bit
and
of a
off.
challenge. There's a bit of electricity challenge here. All the streets, everything is closed. So I got a small little handheld solar torch, which I've on. So
Okay,
that's why maybe it's a little blurred, but
okay,
I'm there.
no problem.
Hello, Marty.
Hey, buddy. So I think, yeah, it is okay now. Ritu, if you want to call the meeting to order, and then we have to have the minutes approved from the last meeting, which were distributed.
Okay. Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hope you had a great first month of the year, and we have entered the second month of 2025. I hope this year gets much more exciting than we had last year. For whatever reason, I use this excitement as a like new beginnings, new projects, new things happening. That's what I meant by excitement. And with all that said, and my greetings to all of you who are present and who are listening or will be listening, welcome to the meeting. With that said, I call meeting to the order.
I think that'll be reflected in the notes, so you don't have to actually write anything down.
Okay, Marty, you want to take it over from here?
Yes, ma'am. The next thing we need to do is approve the minutes from the last meeting, which were distributed to everybody. The only thing that I would recommend would be for people who are not on WhatsApp, to Shankar include from Zoom. He has access to Zoom to include the minutes from each meeting so other people can read them if they're not on WhatsApp. But it would be a motion made by Marty Mangello to approve the minutes which were distributed from the last meeting, which was on January 25th. All the notes were taken by AI, so everything that was said or discussed were automatically put in. So no one's edited those. So I would like to make a motion to approve the last minutes, and it needs a second.
I would like to ask a question. If anyone present wants to go over what the meeting's minutes were, if you had not had a chance to go over, which was sent out on January 25th.
I have not had a chance to go over it.
Okay. Shankar, do you want to give it just a very quick wrap up for a minute or two? We don't need to go
Well,
into a lot of detail. Just a quick wrap up.
yeah, just that.
It was with Ali Alay.
Yes. We had a good meeting and there were great questions and answers on multiple areas of how she started, where she is, and how she's inspired to act in the way she acts, and how she was a novice initially when she joined, but the kind and support that she received from many of the people that she encountered changed her life, and she was able to actually express who she actually is. And she gives a lot of credit to her mentors for doing that. The whole meeting was so engaging that there were so many questions, multiple questions, and multiple beautiful answers from her. And besides that, I think yeah, I mean, I don't know the questions and answers right away, but if anybody's interested, I can pull that out and send it. But it was very engaging. It wasn't the usual set of just she talking. There were so many people who got themselves to get the answers they were looking for from her as an actress. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, man.
I believe this was also in a summary was sent into the Kajoki WhatsApp group as well, the meeting notes, in
Yeah.
case someone has not caught up with them, their WhatsApp messages. So there were WhatsApp messages as well as a email sent out for the meeting minutes from the last speaker. If no other question, we can proceed.
Only thing I had to add was the meeting was very long, and Alf Doam Kapoor of Germany was very, very excited to talk with the guest speaker, and he had a lot of fun questions and stuff. So it was so nice to see him so engaged.
Yes, I think that's okay if people want to stay longer, but we just want to make sure that we keep the guest speaker at the top of the hour after our introduction, and most of the people have joined. We start with the introduction Q&A. Anything else can be dealt later on in case the Q&A gets longer and people can stay, but would like to see meeting finish up at the top of the hour. I believe I had to step out, same as Carolina had to step out because of other meeting starting right at 12. So any thoughts?
No, we just need a second then.
I can second. I was there.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlene.
Okay. So that was Dr. Charlene Doak Gebauer, who provided the second to accept last minute's meetings. Now at this time, typically we might read, it's up to the president-elect, but we might read the four-way test. We might have a non-denominational invocation. I have queued up today's presentation from Steve Fine, but however you would like to run your meetings, if you want to have a non-denominational invocation, you can.
I would say that let's keep the decorum that has been in place for the club, the four-way test and non-denominational.
So yeah, the four-way test, we can all recite that together. Did you want to do the non-denominational invocation?
I would leave that up to you.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Don't have that handy with me right now.
yeah, it's kind of like the invocation that they read in many of the congresses and stuff. They don't mention any type of specific religion or anything like that. They do it every day in the House of Representatives, and they have a chaplain that does it in the Senate, and they're not allowed to mention any type of specific God or anything like that. So that's what the chaplain does at the beginning of each day. Sometimes I actually look that up, like what was said today or yesterday at the U.S. Senate. And the definition of it is a non-denominational invocation in the United States Senate is a prayer that is open to all people, regardless of their religious beliefs. The Senate chaplain opens each session with a prayer, and the tradition dates back to the Continental Congress. And of course, Rotary is non-denominational. And I think Paul Harris, they asked him one time, which church do you go to? And he said, I'd hate to name any one specific church because I go to so many. And he said, now with the radio program, you can listen to so many of the different churches on the radio. So, you know, he kind of stumped people with his answer. So is there anybody that has a specific one that would like to do this job? We don't need to always hear from Marty and what he has to say. Is there anybody that would like to do this type of thing?
What's that? To read a
Anyone?
prayer?
To offer
Non-denominational.
a non-denominational prayer, either from the Canadian Parliament or, you know,
Canadian Parliament? I'm sorry.
any
I'm
kind of
lost.
parliament or body that does any type of non-denominational prayer, whether it's the United States Senate or, you know,
It could be interfaith. It doesn't have to be just
Yeah.
Christian denomination.
it's not allowed to be Christian. It needs to be interfaith. Yep. Is there
No, I
anybody?
mean, no, it's not that you disallow it. It's just like it should be inclusive. That's what I meant.
Is there anybody that would like to do that?
I help.
Okay. Quanta, you want to do it every meeting?
It would be nice like to have Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, different religions. So
I
what
agree.
I can organize and ask individuals, would you do this week rather than, it would be monotonous to have just one person doing it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I am an inclusive person and I like to encourage diversity.
Well, you are the peace chairperson, so I mean, it makes complete sense.
Is that okay with everybody?
It's okay with me. Is anybody
Okay.
else?
If anyone
No,
objects, you
Quanta,
can.
please.
Okay, it sounds good. Well, I have one for today then from the Unitarian Universalist Association. It's the Interfaith Prayer of the World. And I'll just put it in the chat for everybody to kind of follow along with there.
Okay.
Let's see here, and I'll put the web address where this is located as well, in case anybody wanted to go to the web address. And let me see here if I can copy this by Claudine Diane Olivia is her name. This is pretty generic. And this kind of goes like this. In the spirit of love and compassion, let us pray. Spirit of life, gods of many names, be in our hearts and minds as we come together today to pray for our world. We come today as people of privilege, grateful for this blessing and hopeful for our future. Let us know that each from our own tradition comes today to lift our spirit in unity. Knowing that we are a part of an interconnected web of life, let us acknowledge and embrace our oneness. We pray that we may be loving and able stewards of this world. We pray that we acknowledge our differences as we seek out our common ground, each of us working toward the good of all. We recognize that there is hurt and sorrow, deeds that confound us, and actions for which we can find no justification. Yet we also know that there is untold good, folks that work every day for the benefit of all people. Let us stand with them. We pray that we have the strength to recognize the inconvenience of our soul work and to overcome the inertia that invades us during these difficult times. We pray that while we recognize the occasional tiredness in our bones and in our hearts, that we call upon the strength of our higher power, that we might be the person that we are called to be. Yes, let us be good we want to see in others. Let us work to be the change that we seek. As we renew these goals in our hearts, let us say, Amen.
Amen.
By Claudine Diane Olivia.
Beautiful words. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Marty.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll leave it to Quanta to come up with the next meeting's prayer. Quanta, would you accept that?
Sure.
Okay.
So that will be in 2 weeks, right?
In 2
Yes, ma'am.
weeks. Would that be 22nd or 21st?
Yeah,
21st.
22nd.
22nd. And with the 22nd, I am in pets training in Valley Forge. So I will be, depending on the schedules of the training, I may or may not be able to join. Just wanted to put it out there.
Well, if you can get us live up on the screen in front of 500 and show them how
Okay.
it's done. If they say, well, we actually have a president today who wants to show us how this Zoom thing is done.
Okay. All right, Marty, should we proceed with the presentation from our speaker?
Yes, ma'am. And I put the four-way test in the chat just for everybody to be reminded and have a copy of it. So it's just right there. One of the guiding principles. And today, just very quickly, the treasurer's report was shared. We currently have a balance today of $3,504.01. So we're just moving along. And the latest bill that we paid was actually yesterday. We paid for Ritu's hotel room at the hotel. And Ritu, can you tell us how much that was again?
The total was $350.24 for 2 nights, including taxes and everything else they charge for.
Yeah, so 350.20 was spent yesterday. And right now, Ritu is well underneath what was voted by the a not to exceed $1,200 expense for the total cost of sending her to the required pets training to become a president. It is required in the Constitution. That was voted for not to exceed $1,200. The other bill that we paid was just over $300, $340. That was to pets. You know, you have to pay for the course. And she boycotted and said, I'm not going to go to the Thursday night dinner and the Friday morning breakfast and the Friday lunch and probably not even the Friday dinner, but maybe. And so she's saving quite a bit of money. It looks like she's going to come in just around just over half of what was approved, guys. So she's been very judicious in saving money. And the last thing that we had paid was, of course, the district contacted us about 2 new members who returned. So Ashmi Trivedi and Dr. Desiree Richardson returned. We paid $70 for them. This week as well, the district said, you know, you need to pay for them. So we did that. That's no problem. And previous to that, the bank statement for January was issued on WhatsApp for everybody to review and scrutinize. And we've paid our district dues. The next bill that we have will be the last bill for the year. And that's going to be to pay to Rotary, Rotary International. So that's the treasurer's
How
report. Of the
much is the Rotary International, Marty?
It's pretty expensive. I'll bring it up here.
Sure. We can hold it off for the later part of the meeting.
I'll put it in the chat here in
Okay.
a couple of seconds. I'll get started with Steve Fine and let him rip and let him get talking.
Okay. Do we need to come back to the 4-way test first?
We can if you want to.
Sure.
Yes. So we could just recite this together, guys. Can everybody see that there?
Yes.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
A lot of clubs recite this together. Number 1, is it the truth?
Is it
Is it the truth?
Is
That's
it
right.
the truth? Is it fair to
fair to all concerned?
Will it
Build
promote
goodwill and
goodwill
better
and
friendships.
be
relationships,
beneficial
friendships?
to all concerned?
Thank you all.
Yep. And so I'll just switch over the screen now to Steve Fine. He is doing wonderful things in the world. And let me see here if I can do, yep, share sound and optimize for video sharing. Do a little bit better with him this time. There he is right there. Okay. So everybody should be able to see the Melanoma Education Foundation.
I'm sorry, Jean is in waiting room.
Oh, Jean's in the waiting room. Okay. That poor woman. Let me see what's going on there.
I wish she had been there 15 minutes. I just saw the message.
Maybe I need to start, I know I've given you and Shanker access and
Okay.
Yak also. But when you go to share this screen,
Yeah, what
She
you really need to
mentioned
do is when
there's
uh,
few people.
it's not showing that. Okay, I
Okay.
see. Yeah, J.E. Anderson. It is not showing.
Okay, she said there are a few people. Okay, J.E. Anderson and
Not show. I just
she-
am not
hey,
familiar.
Marty,
this-
can you make me a co-host? Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Make me a co-host, make Ritu a co-host as well. And we'll figure it out. Unless they went to a different Zoom meeting. I don't know.
No, here's J.E. right here.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising.
What's up, buddy? I just cannot get this thing to even show at this point where the waiting room is, who the humans are in the waiting room.
okay.
Okay.
Did
There's a
you
few more
give
of these here.
us?
And again, trying to find share the host, even on the host tools, there is nothing on here that
Well,
says
you actually just click on participants at the bottom or on top. Then what you do is click on me. All right, right click on me, I think. All right. Not
there
right.
you
Sorry.
go. Make you a host.
Co-host.
If there's
Co-host.
yeah, if there's any way that when if you guys can sign in any way,
Interesting. I don't see her as well, by the way. Where?
with your private, I've given everybody private access with their own private controls.
Yep, got it. Give me a sec. I'm making a co-host. I'm making Ritu a co-host.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
so much.
But by the way, I don't see Jean. But oh yeah, there she is. She's just
There
Yeah,
she is.
Jean is
Okay.
here. Okay.
All the help that can possibly be get.
Okay, so we have Ishtiaq, you are the host. You have to give host okay.
You
Who
seem
is
fine.
who is sharing the screen? So if a
I'm
co-host,
gonna share the screen for Steve Fine.
okay. Excellent. All right, so I think we solved that issue.
Okay, so everybody should be able to see the Melanoma Education Foundation now. Is anybody able to see that? Can anyone hear me?
I
Yes.
see it. It's a
Okay.
little bit.
Yes, Marty, we can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Steve Fine, he is actually a Rotarian and he does these special presentations and makes them available. He doesn't do them on Saturdays, but he's a Rotarian. And you may have read his story where his son passed away and died. And these are all Rotary Club members from across the world. Their comments about his presentation we're going to watch today. He sent this to us. He's the founder and president of the Melanoma Education Foundation. And in 1989, he started a consulting practice for high purity chemical manufacturing and served as 3 years as the vice president of technology for ACSI, a West Coast manufacturer of semiconductor chemicals. Shortly after his son died, Dan was his name, in 1998, at the age of 26, is when Steve founded the nonprofit Melanoma Education Foundation. And since the year of 2000, he's devoted full time to the foundation. And so this is what he's been doing. He's presented to over 1,700 schools and Rotary clubs. And this is his son, Dan Fine, right here of Peabody, Massachusetts. And so this is how he got started in this and why he wants to support more research. His full name is Steve Fine, PhD. He has his doctorate, and here is his board and honorary trustees. What struck us most about this, and we won't play Bob Marley's music on this because it's going to go up on YouTube, and then our channel is going to get a strike against it for playing Bob Marley's music. But when we were studying this page with Steve, it was mentioned that Bob Marley had passed away. And I never knew this. At 1981, he was only 36 years old. And the melanoma started under a nail of a large toe and spread to his brain. And also Dr. Yvette Maturi, a Boston cancer surgeon who was very famous, died at the age of 48. And hers started on her scalp and was hidden by her hair until it was too late. So this is what he's going to go over today with his presentation. And he's got his videos and stuff if you wanted to watch more. And you would just go in here. Should have, could have, would have. This is for middle school students and anybody that you want to share this with. Where he had, oh, there's Herbert wanted to come in. So let's get Herbert in here. So yeah, this is his fundraiser that he does. And you know, his 10-minute skin check thing that he offers people, very simple. So this is kind of what was so surprising to us. And he's been trying to come in and do this presentation. Does anybody have any experience with this or anybody in your family?
Marty,
With
is
melanoma?
there any kind of an intro video, what it is? Just like kind of giving a basic information on what this is?
Yes, he does. He has the Tale of Two Teen Cancers here, and then he's got his education training. And what he had suggested for us was that we actually run his video that he does for the students. So this thing is pretty short. It's 22 minutes. Should have, could have, would have was what this is called. And let me just make sure everybody can.
Would you please put the links too, so maybe I can see it later, because 22 minutes.
Yes.
So everybody can see it on their own, so that we
Yes,
don't.
we have. Can somebody do that with the links in the chat, please, to skincheck.org?
Is that what this video link is?
Yes, the videos are here, or can somebody put this link? Maybe I can put it in.
Yeah, that would be fine because you already have an access.
All right, let me put it right there for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can,
Now
I'll
let's make
bookmark
sure
it.
everybody's able to hear this. I'm just going to stop sharing 1 second, and I'm going to try to share this screen again. And I want to make sure, yeah, the sound is on. And we'll do a quick check here, make sure everybody can hear. Is anybody getting sound?
Yes, I can hear
Yes.
it.
Meet Catherine, Ashley, and Ramsey. 3 very different people with one thing in common.
I had stage 3.
I had stage 3.
I had stage 3 melanoma.
It's the most serious type of skin cancer, and it's affecting young people all around the United States, even in places like New England, where there isn't much sun exposure most of the year.
A lot of my friends are like, oh, that won't happen to me because I'm too young for it to happen, but it can happen to anybody.
I questioned whether or not we could have found something earlier.
I couldn't understand what had happened to my body.
Melanoma isn't pretty, and it can strike anyone, at any age.
There was a mole that was just kind of stuck out at me, bothered me, so I just asked them if they would take it off because it was just kind of like a cosmetic thing.
It was the August before my senior year, and I had this mole that I had asked my doctor about before, and he had said that there was not a problem.
I found it like after I took a shower one day, right between my toes, right there.
It was weird looking. It was like the size of an eraser, and it looked odd.
Welcome to the world of melanoma survivors.
Just every day you wake up and you wonder if it's going to come back.
The mole was initially right here on my stomach, and I've had 3 surgeries progressively right here. Initially, it was just a removal of the mole. The second one was a bit deeper, and then the third was another scoop just to make sure that it was clear, and another 26 lymph nodes in my leg. Just had a small removal on my arm right here of a mole that didn't look completely normal.
So I have a scar right here, and then I have one from the lymph node dissection, which is probably a little bit longer than this one, all the way across under my armpit. And then I've had a few, since that, they've taken a lot of moles off my back, and then I've had a lot of excisions, so I probably have about 5 or 6 scars.
I have one on my arm, and this arm too. One on my pinky right here that got taken off by the same doctor who took my mole off of my foot. And then I have on the back of my leg.
The incidence of melanoma is over someone's lifetime is about 1 in 80.
So for every 80 people you know in your lifetime, there's probably one person with melanoma.
I think at 10 to 13 years old, it's more important for them to get to know their moles so that when new ones pop up, they're able to identify them.
Know that it can happen to anyone. I didn't spend an excessive amount of time in the sun. It was almost like a spontaneous thing in my body, you know, somewhere it just randomly started. And so for me, I think for anyone, it can come from anywhere. And I think it's just good to be cognizant of that fact and to be constantly aware.
Having 50 or more moles and having any moles that are irregularly shaped can put you at risk for melanoma.
I wasn't sure, you know, just looking at like my family history, we have no history of melanoma. Low history of cancer in general. So it wasn't really something that I'd been thinking about or the possibility that I was really playing with.
When I became more aware of like getting a tan and stuff, I would kind of like, I'd be like, oh, I really don't need sunblock because I'd want the tan instead of being pale.
Little chance for sun means little chance to get a tan. For many students, it's important to have that sun-kissed glow, but they may not know it could cost them their lives.
I tanned a lot. It becomes addicting. I mean, when you see what it does to you, it's addicting. But I would take pale skin any day over what I just went through this past year, so.
Frequent tanning increases your risk of melanoma 8 times. 1 blistering sunburn doubles your risk, and 3 or more increases your risk 5 times. There are 2 types of UV rays, UVA and UVB. UVB rays burn and are the strongest during spring and summer, and UVA rays go deeper into the skin. Both cause aging, wrinkling, sunburns, and skin cancer like melanoma. You can protect yourself by covering up, wearing a hat, wearing sunglasses, and slathering on SPF 45 sunscreen at least every 2 hours when you're in the sun, especially between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Right now, I'm on the D-line, I'm a defensive end, and we are in the middle of spring ball. You know, I always loved football, you know, since 7th grade. From there, I knew that I wanted to play in college, and it had always been a goal of mine throughout high school.
Big sack in the backfield. Ramsey Lafayette.
I was 18 when I got diagnosed, and turned 19 while I was on chemo. And I actually got my admittance letter to Harvard when I was in the hospital, which was nice. You know, that was definitely inspiring. to see, and just a bright spot on what can be a dark day.
Mr. Kerr? Research biology is one of my favorite classes, and I really enjoy coming here.
Okay, everybody, when you remove your intestine, you want to remove large and small intestine. Do it best you can. The only way I would ever guess that you could get cancer at a young age is by seriously just using UV rays to tan yourself way too often. And that was pretty much the only time I ever thought that someone could get cancer at a young age. But I guess this is clearly a statement that there are also an abundance of other ways that this can happen.
I was 12 years old and I was in 7th grade. My parents told me that I could have cancer. I was like, no, it doesn't happen to people like me.
I received a phone call from the individual who had removed the mole, and he said the word melanoma, and I knew that melanoma was skin cancer, but I didn't quite grasp that he was talking about my 12-year-old daughter having melanoma.
It was the worst time of my life. As a parent, you feel helpless when you hear something like that.
I was scared that day. I was just nervous about what was going to happen.
And she started crying, and I fell apart. It's just, this is my daughter, and she has to go through this. And it was very difficult for me.
I was scared of losing my toes or my foot or my leg.
You're looking at her foot, she had hundreds of stitches, almost like what you would have for clothing, the same type of stitches. And it was everywhere around her toes. It was overwhelming.
And it was not pretty.
No.
Like, I thought about what my friends were doing whenever I was missing school. Like, oh, Demi has this class at this time, and I'd look at the clock, and then I'd be like, oh, she's in English right now. Or my friends would be at lunch, and I'm just sitting at home, sitting in my dad's chair, just having to be on bed rest for like 2 weeks, and not having any fun. Because like, I don't want people to think it was like just sitting there and not having to do anything, because I had to do homework and all that like everybody else.
She would have chills and shake uncontrollably. She wasn't able to stop, no matter how high the heat was turned or how many blankets she had on. That seemed to start first, right after the treatment. Then she would have her hair began to thin.
They took one of my major lymph nodes out of my leg, and that had like a cancer cell in it. It's right here is where like the drain connected into my leg. Yeah, there were some times where I could feel it, and I just didn't like it at all. One of the nurses from Maine Children's Cancer Program came up and talked to my class about it. About like what it was, so people didn't take it the wrong way, like if they didn't know what it was, that they could learn about it.
I went to school there, and I remember when the day that she, like, we had like an assembly, and she told everybody about it, what it was, and in case nobody knew what it was, that it wasn't like contagious and stuff.
I know that's cancer of the skin, and I actually got tested for it once. They had to remove like a mole and test it. I was worried that they'd tell me that I had it and stuff.
Well, I've heard that melanoma is like, it's a pretty bad disease that you can get, and like a lot of people can get it, like a lot of people have suffered from it.
Okay, I'm gonna test you one more time. You feel anything sharp?
No.
No, you're okay, right?
Yep.
Okay, I think that will stop the video. This is a 22-minute long video.
Thank you, Marty. It's very informative. I am sure on his website, there's a lot more information. I just wanted to make sure people who have any time constraints to leave at the top of the hour, so we can ask question, or based on our knowledge or experiences or anyone we have known, if attendees can share some helpful information. Please
one thing I would be, personally, is that since there is nobody in here that is that's specialized and is professional that can give advice, we can share our personal experience if we had melanoma and how we got it treated. But I don't think we can be in an advisory position because that's kind of risky thing.
Understood, Quanta. I didn't mean that medical advice or clinical advice. It's just that if people have known someone or have any questions or to share
Oh, I
any
know you didn't
guidance.
say that. Yeah, I understand. You didn't say that.
Yes.
I was.
I just want to add a comment here is that even something that seems sometime, well, I am not in the sun, or it cannot happen. Being a having a mindset of understanding your own health never hurts, right? So there are so many things, and again, it's not a medical advice or any kind of advice. It's just what I practice, being mindfulness, and the chemicals in our body come through many ways, through air, through food, through stress. Our body reacts differently. So I just want to make sure that if someone has questions, they can put it out there, and maybe we can reach out, as we have a note taker, we can reach out to Stephen Fine to ask to provide some more guidance.
Yeah, I would just like to thank Steve Fine publicly for all of his work these decades, and to say our condolences on the loss of his son to this disease, and all of the work as a Rotarian and for Rotary clubs across the world that he has done. And to give a word of thanks to Steve Fine for bringing this foundation to the world's attention. He's been doing excellent work in Rotary clubs, and we rescheduled him twice. He was ready to speak during the week, but he doesn't work on the weekends. But just a word of thanks to Steve Fine, a fellow Rotarian, for all the work he's been doing with this foundation.
Thank you, Marty. Does anyone have any questions? We can send it to Steve. Please, raise your Zoom hand.
Well, I think it's an excellent video. And it's one of those topics people don't want to talk about for fear talking about it is contagious. You know what I mean? And it was very informative. I appreciate seeing that. Thank you very much.
I never knew about this, and I never knew that Bob Marley passed away at 36 years old. I just met his son, Rohan Marley, face to face, and was talking with him in Charlotte, and went to his speech, and he's selling coffee. And Stormy and I have been live on stage at the Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival with Ziggy Marley for days in Detroit at Motown. And I never knew this about Bob Marley, that he got this in his toenail and died from this. I never even knew that this was possible. I know that going to tanning beds is not smart. I got that much information. I'm smart enough to have heard that, but I never knew any of this other stuff. So it has heightened my attention a lot, especially with our daughter and our grandchildren.
Did his son say, I'm sure it wasn't about tanning. Did they have any idea what has caused it for him?
They did say that they did, but he didn't go into it with me. Like you're exactly right, Quanta, the circumstances and where it probably started from, but he didn't go into it. Jean Russo has a question.
I would like to also thank
Steve Fine for what he is doing, for bringing an awareness. And because I think this is not talked about, and it truly, truly is, or can affect everyone. If parents would know about it early on, I'm sure they would be more diligent in watching their children, not to be overprotective, but just to be aware, and even on our own bodies. It would be nice, and I definitely will revisit his website, revisit the video clip, absolutely. Because if there is a specific color we should look for, or is there texture that we should look for, or, you know, seeing a mole that perhaps on my mother and realizing, wow, I have it in the same place. And
I did notice on his website in some very grotesque and sickening pictures, Gene, he does
Mhm.
identify and show what the formations look like, how they
Okay.
spread out,
Mhm.
and the shapes of them and the ridges to look for. He's very
Okay.
specific, and the photos are disgusting, but you're exactly right that that is what you want to go look at.
Sure, and the misconception that in all our minds, or my mind anyway, as well, that it is only caused by the sun. And we know now otherwise. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Steve, for bringing this to our awareness.
Yeah. Was there anybody else before we ask? A common thing in Rotary clubs that they do, and every Rotary club that I visit, is to ask any visiting Rotarians to please stand up and introduce yourself. And today we do have a visiting Rotarian from Uganda. So every Rotary club I go to, from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C., to New York, to Tokyo, this happens at every meeting. We do have Herbert is here from Uganda. Herbert, would you please introduce yourself if your microphone's working? I'll just ask him to unmute. Okay, he put a greeting in there in text. And he, yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
yes, good evening from Uganda. I'm Rotarian Herbert, and I'm the charter president of Rotary Club of Lake Bagyenyi in Kabale, that is southwestern Uganda. And I'm happy and glad to join you and have this wonderful interaction that I've had from you. Thank you so much, and I send you greetings from other Rotarians in Uganda.
Thank you, President. Welcome, President Herbert Bagyenyi Kajoki of Uganda. We're delighted to have you. And President-elect Chopra, would you like to also offer a greeting to President Kajoki?
Yes, Marty. Welcome, Herbert. I am very pleased that you are present and here, and I hope that this information is helpful, spreading awareness in your community. And please, we have shared the websites of Mr. Fine. And any information or any questions you have, feel free to send it to us, that we can send those questions out to Mr. Fine if someone is looking for resources. And that goes for everyone. If someone has questions that we can address with Stephen Fine, we'll be happy to send them.
Thank you.
Was there any other club business that anybody would like to bring up? We have about 10 minutes left. I wanted to ask Foundation Chairman Chuck Woody Eke, has recently graduated several classes in the Rotary Learning Center. Chuck, would you like to please talk about your experience in the Rotary Learning Center and the many different classes you've attended and certificates you've received?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Madam President, Ritu, nice to see you. You look so beautiful today. And everyone, you all look gorgeous. Marty, you are amazing. concerning the Rotary Foundation Learning Center. The online learning center is quite friendly. It's not time consuming. And I've learned, taking a few courses. One of them is on stewardship, the other on preventing polio, and on and on and on and on. I may decide to post them on the leadership platform if that is okay. But it's quite friendly, tight, easy to comprehend. At the end of the day, you are asked for an assessment, do an evaluation of the course that you took, and then once you make it, you pass the course, you'll be asked to print your certificate. But if you didn't pass the course, you'll be given another chance again and again until you get it right. You see, the good thing is in the course of reading and retaking the courses, you learn more about not just Rotary Foundation, but about the club entirely. So it's a wonderful experience, and I encourage each one of us to get in there. If it's not a Rotary Foundation, but other learning courses, it's really beneficial. Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the certificates are really important. People are using them to put on their LinkedIn. They put them on their resume. And in comparison, I would say, I mentioned to Stormy this morning, I went into the American Alliance of Museums to take some courses this week, and they are like about 50 years behind the Rotary Learning Center. At the Rotary Learning Center, we also have paid for the entire Toastmaster International courses. So don't waste your money joining Toastmaster. I mean, it's good to join if you want to speak in front of crowds, but don't waste any money. Rotary has already paid for all that. You can get completely Toastmaster certified for free. That's part of your membership. And I think right now there's close to 30 languages, 1,400 courses. And a lot of people use Rotary as a springboard to jump up and down and jump to the next thing in their life and their professional career. And when folks see on your resume or LinkedIn, that you've graduated the 4.5-hour course on stewardship and financial governance, or whatever, a 1,400 subject, leadership, management, motivation, conflict adjustment. There are so many courses on there. And Chuck, weren't they really well done with like videos and graphics?
Can you say that again? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was saying, like, the videos that they have and the graphics and the click test, and I thought they were really well done.
Very, very well done. That's what I'm saying. It's very, very user friendly.
Good.
When you get in there, you want to do one more course, again and again. I like it, and I'm hoping to do 2 more courses this weekend.
Amazing. And Chuck, what we need you to do each meeting is what you would normally do as the foundation chairperson. You would stand up and give a report on the foundation. This is the total giving that we have from the club for the year. And you might have a message, that, hey, I wanted to mention this about polio this week, guys. It's usually lasts at meetings like about 2 minutes long.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. One more.
I just wanted to ask
Marty.
too. Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead, Shankar.
Sorry.
I'll go
Chuck,
after.
Chuck just wanted an example of a course that you did, 1 or 2 or 3, just to get a guidance.
Say that again.
I just wanted to get 1 or 2 or 3 of the courses named that you've done.
I'm going to send it on the chat. Excuse me, on our platform.
Oh, Shankar, Marty has put it out there already in the chat.
It's in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask Marty to mention what Carolina has done, and I see that she is just joining. Maybe we ask her to come unmute herself. And
If you can
Carolina.
call. She said she didn't want to talk today because she's sick also.
Okay, I am sorry.
I can tell you, no, it's okay. Carolina, as the fundraising chairperson on the board of directors, She also is similarly studying a lot of the same courses that Chuck is. They go in, and what they do in the Learning Center, Ritu, is up at the top search box, they typed in the words giving and fundraising, and then it has a whole bunch of suggested courses all about giving and Rotary and how that works, and fundraising and the different ways people can donate money for endowment and trusts and charitable trust, even stocks and annuities that they can make available, and how to join into giving through many different vehicles. Even our district has a DAF fund, a donor advisory fund. Rotary has a DAF also. And how do you do that? How do you do appreciable stocks? How would I make a part of my portfolio available? How do I do life endowment? I want to put into my will that a certain amount of money is to go to Rotary when I pass away. And I want to memorialize that with my family trust and my estate attorney. How do I do this? And who do I talk to? And we have, of course, 2 members in our club who belong to the Arch Clump Society, who have donated millions of dollars to become the highest level of giving. Most Rotarians would be lucky if they ever meet in their lifetime one Arch Clump Society member. We have 2 in our club. I said they would be lucky if they ever meet one Arch Clump Society member at a convention. Most Rotarians that you talk to will tell you, I have never met one. I've been in Rotary 70 years, Martin, and we have never had one in our club, and we probably never will. How do you have 2 Arch Clump Society members in your, it is impossible. And we do. So these things need to be understood. And Carolina is working in tandem with Chuck to decipher this. And our Thursday meetings have been very busy, just the working meetings with people that are very interested. I see Henry is here from Build Green Now, and many other people have come in. So we're working away at this.
Marty, may I ask? I guess I've been kind of disconnected or something, because this is a wonderful news. If we have 2 Arch Clump, who are they? Because that's a
So
public now.
you know Feroz Pira.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Okay.
Persian American.
Who's the other one? No, he's South Africa, actually.
The other one, every time I talk to him, he tells me he's from Persia. So I speak to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Arabic. But really, he's a man of the world, because he's been in London 4 times this year.
Hey, Marty, can we hear from Henry? Henry from.
Yeah, go ahead, Henry. Say hello.
Hey, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Henry.
Hello, I'm actually out at the store right now, but I wanted to join in and listen. I'm dialing in from Kingston, New York. I'm the president and founder of Build Green Now, and the former president of the U.S. Hemp Building Association. And I met Marty online through some other connections. Basically, one of my goals is we're releasing a new platform to help communities manage tasks better, because even though we're focused on hemp, we're wanting to do a lot of work in Puerto Rico. We learned through experience that most communities are terrible at managing projects, and that's the reason why 70% fail, and there's like $1 trillion out waiting to be secured if people just knew how.
Well, thank you, Henry. I've been digging your hair, man. I've been seeing it online, and I'm like, this dude is so cool and so bold. Yeah, more power to you. I get a lot of crap for my hair and my goatee, and we're always saying, like, Rotary is still very focused on DEI and accepting everybody. But sometimes when you show up looking weird in Rotary, you're immediately put down as a lunatic. And so this goatee has gotten me a lot of trouble because I don't look normal. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be my authentic self. And Henry, when we look at you, that's all that we see is true authenticity. We love it. And we're about 60% minority here, and almost 70% women members from all over the world. So thank you so much for coming in today. And please come back and be a member and give a presentation. He should talk live.
Can we get his website address and email to get in touch with him.
And shouldn't he give a whole keynote speech and presentation as to what he's doing?
At some point, if that's what you'd like, we'd be happy to. I'm here with Sally. We're just finishing up shopping, but we wanted to at least listen best we could. And we'll follow your lead on this, Marty. We just joined the WhatsApp group. And if that's a communication channel, we could certainly post something there. Because our challenge is, right now is that we're actually working with 5 universities and preparing a very important collaboration with the Hemp Build Association. Because when I was president, what I learned is that they didn't have the tools in order to expand the work as fast as needed. And now that we're into disaster seasons, what we know is we have something that can help a lot of people. Like in particular, we want to get to Puerto Rico and insulate some homes from the heat.
And our founding fathers, President Washington, Madison, Monroe, they all grew hemp and cultivated it. Very famous for hemp lovers. So, I mean, a lot of people just have never heard these things. And
I would like to ask you if you are sending us a request to be one of the speaker. My recommendation would be to include in your presentation the work you have done, what's needed, and the kind of help that is needed, or the educational part of it. So that helps because we record and make it available. So if someone is not present during the meeting, they come in later on, didn't have a chance to ask questions. So they kind of get a good overall picture of the presentation.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll reach out to Marty because I'm on a mobile phone right now, so I don't have the full, functionality. And I'm thinking there's probably content in the chat that I'll want to get, but I can't really capture it now. And so I'll ask him what's the appropriate follow-up and time frame for presentation.
I just put it in the WhatsApp group, and I did put it in the chat. And this whole meeting is going to go up on YouTube from ISTIAC or DIPO. So just fill out that form to apply to be a guest speaker. And I know our speakers are booked. Jean Marie, all the way out into like May now is open. So we have a lot of speakers coming up, but we don't have any openings until May. And Jean Marie is in charge of all of that as our board of directors chairperson for events. So just fill out that form in the WhatsApp group. And thank you so much, Henry.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you very much.
Henry, thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. If you did reach out to me, I'm catching up with all my WhatsApps. I've been a bit behind, so I will make sure that I view it as well.
Okay, so thank you. So as soon as I get home, I'll get to my WhatsApp and I'll post something that explains what we're doing and the urgency of the work. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Henry.
Yes. So we are 5 minutes past top of the hour. Anyone has any questions, comments, suggestions?
Did everybody get a chance to have their say? Did anybody feel like they were cut off? If not, then Madam President-elect, I would like to make a motion and ask for a second to close the meeting at 12:06 p.m.
I second.
So the meeting is officially closed.
You have to have a vote, Madam President.
Yes.
All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And just to make it official, was there a vote?
The meeting is
everybody will meet again. We'll see you on Thursday, the 20th for the working meeting. We have a lot of Africans in that meeting that we've been helping for weeks. It's a very boring meeting. But the big meeting will be the 22nd, February 22nd is the next big Saturday meeting.
Yes, the February 22nd, I am in PETS training in the morning. I believe those would be conflict in time, so someone in my place would need to take the role.
Yep. And that one is going to be Maria Dolores, the founder of the Human Contract Foundation at www.thehumancontract.world. She's coming to us live from Sweden.
Okay. All right, so I can speak to offline. So we would have all the information from her. She had reached out to me as well to speak to her. I do not know what her questions are, but she said that Marty had recommended her to talk to me. I believe the work she was doing, and she had to leave New York in a very brief notice. So I'm not sure what the question she has that I can assist her with, but will do. And I thank you everyone for joining wherever you are. Have a pleasant rest of the afternoon.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shank, if you need me, I'm just going to stay on.
I'm okay. I will get back to something, but in the meantime, I will do the rest of the follow-ups for the Rotary Club's meeting today.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
But I've taken note of all the rest of the things that you sent by WhatsApp. Very useful, Marty. Thank you so much. Go by that.